Okay, so up until now, we've been talking about the effects of individual genes, and we've been saying that one gene is responsible for one trait. So, for example, we talked about the blood type gene, blood type. Okay? However, in reality, it's not necessarily so simple. So, oftentimes, one gene, it's still the instructions for a protein, but that one protein might have many effects around the body. And so it really just depends on the type of protein that's being instructed for production based on the gene. So an example of, or a couple examples of this are the genes mutations, the genetic mutations that are responsible for dwarfism and gigantism. So this idea that one particular gene can have many effects is called pleiotropy, or a pleiotropic gene. So pleio means many, and tropic means changes. So many changes. Okay. But in the case of gigantism, for example, so here's a famous giant who is exhibiting the symptoms of gigantism and acromegaly, which is kind of the adult form of gigantism. So what's going on here is that he likely has a mutation in a gene that creates a protein when normal. The normal version of the gene creates or instructs for a protein that will regulate the production of growth hormone. Okay. Or GH for short. Okay, you might be familiar with GH in that it's somewhat controversial in sports these days, as some athletes look to take it as a sort of illegal performance enhancer, like in Major League Baseball and whatnot. But anyway, the normal gene is a switch that regulates GH production, and so this has all sorts of important impacts in terms of bone growth. So you can see, if you look, he's got kind of a characteristic chin and brow of sort of looks almost caveman-like, but it's kind of prominent in that way. And that's characteristic of this condition, the excessive growth hormone production. And the same sort of opposite could be said for dwarfism, where again you have a mutation, but in this case it's a mutation of a gene that is regulating cartilage production, I believe. And in fact, the mutation leads to more regulation of or inhibition of cartilage formation. So you end up with all these sorts of effects: the short height, arm length, hand shape, facial structure, all of that. So just one change in one gene, one mutation, leads to all these different changes.